And I'm Leo. Welcome to Yoga with Lynn and Leo.
Yes, and hopefully you're on your mats for Uttanasana. So we practice Uttanasana many times in all of our sequences, but we're going to add a few props to help assist the action, but also to make it a little bit more intense. So Leo's going to go through the props here.
Okay, so we've just got 2 yoga bricks. If you don't have yoga bricks, then you can get books, but they have to be the same depth. And a couple of yoga pads. If you don't have yoga pads, you can always take your hands to the seat of a chair.
Okay, so if you've just joined us and this is the first time you've watched one of our videos, then welcome. And Uttanasana, we will show you the shape of it first. So Leo's just going to show the action with the feet together, lifting up through the center of the body and hinging at the hip. So there's a lot more to this than just hinging at the hip. So just demonstrating the action, hinging forward from straight arms and extending forward into this action. Okay, so some of you may not be familiar with Uttanasana or may find it really challenging to come into this action straight away. Of course, it's an extreme pose. Taking a breath in and coming up. So today we're going to give you a little bit of instruction on this. So firstly, when you take your arms up into Urdhva Hastasana, in this position, you can join in with us. You have to see that your arms are active, because what your arms give you is this length in the abdomen. So of course the legs are working very strongly, the weight is back into the heels, but also we've added this dimension of extension through the whole of the body. So we have to push right up into the edges of the body, the tips of the fingers, so that the yoga can become fluid throughout the whole of the body. Now the key thing is to come into an action where you keep this really nice and long. So this is where the chest comes into play in the back body. So release the shoulder blades down and see that they move deep in towards the chest side. And then hinge over into half Uttanasana. You see, keeping that action. Now reach those fingers if you're reaching a wall. Extend. The thighs might go back a little bit at this stage. And then extend your hands down towards the floor. Now just come into this action where the arms are underneath the shoulders. And see that these, this area here, the shoulder blades are moving so deeply in. So we have to see that we support the whole of the upper body in this way. And keeping that length throughout the whole of the front extension. Now, if it's very challenging to take your hands to the floor, as you know, yoga bricks are very helpful, or two books the same size. So this is one of the ways you can really work so well with the leg action, with the extension, and then coming up out of the pose. So we're not coming into the full action as such, and then releasing the arms down. Okay, so we're going to add a new dimension to this action now. So Leo is going to get her bricks and place them to the mat.
Put them together?
Yes. And then place them.
She's challenging me today.
So the feet are together. I'm just going to place these here, because if you've got 4 bricks, then fine, but you know, a lot of people have 2 in their kit bag. So I've just put some foam pads here so that it gives a little bit of extra space for you to take your hands down onto. So now, working from the bricks teaches the legs how to work, and what's really key about this is that the more length you get from lifting those kneecaps and lifting those frontal thighs, the more you will start to come more engaged with the lower abdominal action. It's almost as if inside this waist period, this waist area, you have imaginary legs, because they go all the way through the leg, all the way up towards the ribs. So with that in mind, we have to keep so much extension, so much length. So put your hands onto your hip flexors now and hinge forward. Keeping all of those actions, keeping those shoulder blades deeply in and being in that position. Now don't go any further than this, or even halfway, because otherwise sometimes the spine will start to buckle under that action. So taking the hands down either to your foam pads or to the floor. So the action is downwards, but I don't want you to think about down, I want you to think about lift. So through those front legs, through the hip flexors, through the lower abdomen, you have to lift right up so that you make space for your spine. And from there you keep that action, you keep that lift in your lower abdomen, that lift through the front thighs, and if you are able to, you take your hands a little further back. But with all of these actions you have to check, because when you go that step further, you may lose the previous step. So we have to just see that we take it slowly, but keep your practice continuous, regular, and keep the integrity in your poses. So this is a way how you can intensify your Uttanasana action. And you can be in this pose for a little while, just working on those points. To come out of the action, then walk in those fingers further forward, initiate that lift again through the abdomen, front thigh region. And this area, this dorsal spine needs to move in, so strongly look forward. And then coming up and extending up. Okay. And that's our tutorial on Uttanasana.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It's quite a strong action. And remember, if you're not quite at this stage, don't worry. You just work at the intermediate stage with the feet slightly further apart, working onto bricks, and eventually it does come.
Yes. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Namaste.
Namaste.